one gentleman looks at me and he goes, Lee, the werewolf lives back on your property. I go, why you?
What? Yeah.
Imagine my surprise.
Welcome back to the Jupiter podcast. I'm your host, Tom Franklin. Today we have the wonderful Mr. Lee Hampel. He bought some property in southern Wisconsin, and he's been having a lot of strange occurrences on his property. We're going to get into that today, and I think you're going to really enjoy this one. There's a lot of information to be dispelled, a lot of questions as well. And if you have questions about what's going on in the show, I can do my very best to answer them in when you write down below the comments, there you go, in the comments section. If you can find yourself coming back to the Jupiter podcast, please do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. You can go over and find me on Rumble. You can find me on Spotify. While you're over on Spotify and you're downloading your podcast, please do me a favor, leave me a rating. That way my show gets bumped up, or our show gets bumped up farther in the algorithm over there, and more people can then find the show and find wonderful guests that I'll be having on today. If you guys enjoy t-shirts and all that, all description down below. All my social medias are down in the description below. There's also other podcasters down there that I work with together, wonderful people. You can also go over to their shows and check out their material as well. So with all that out of the way, let's welcome to the show Mr. Lee Hampel.
Hey, hi, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing good today. You were saying that you had some thunderstorms, and I just heard a rumbling out here as well. So it's the rainy season down here in the Yucatan, and it's going to get wild. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for coming on with me today. And, we've had a couple discussions in the background. You sent me a lot of material to go over, and I'll do my best because I was telling you my internet's a little wonky, but I'm going to do my very best to go through some of that today. And thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, and I love the name of your show, The Eye of the Jupiter. I'm sure there's a story behind how that name came about, but it's
just a brainchild, trying to find a name that kind of represents what I feel, and it just kind of came. It's easy to remember, but at the same time, it's kind of cool, and it also leaves, some questions. So it's basically how it works.
It's a very good catch name. I mean, it has good eye appeal, and it does create questions. Look at the Eye of the Jupiter. Oh,
that's... what in the HE double hockey sticks does that mean, Tom? Yeah, no worries. Lee, please do my audience a favor. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe where we can find you.
Well, yeah, I'm Lee Hampel, and I was a math teacher for 35 years in Wakanda High School here in Wakanda, Illinois, where I do live. I did purchase the property by Elkhorn in 2007. You can find me on Facebook, or I don't really have a website. I don't haven't really pursued that. I've just been so busy since 2013 with my project of studying my hayfield and analyzing it. I have logs. I have albums. I have over 100,000 pictures on my computer. Most of them have paranormal activity. I have 3 to 5 cameras out the last 12 years. So that's really been my focus. I've not really gone out and interviewed like I'm doing with you, Tom. But 2 years ago, I started saying yes to the podcast. People were asking me, and so I thought, okay, it's time for me to be able to dispense my information, my data, and people. Hopefully, people enjoy it, and it's educational and entertaining, and gives a scope to the cryptid world that I hope is beneficial.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I really appreciate that you're doing that, because I know you're a man of science. You're a man of reason. We talked in the background for about an hour and a half altogether, 2 phone calls, trying to get a feel for each other and figure out how we want to present this information. Now, as far as I know, is it called Elk or Elkton?
Elkhorn.
Elkhorn. Okay, it's Elkhorn. This is the area known for like the infamous Beast of Bray Road. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. All my neighbors seen it. I've seen it 3 times.
Okay.
Tremendous amount of evidence that I've sent you, and this all started. I mean, 2007, I purchased the property through my mom's estate, I guess you would call it, and and I started farming. Or my neighbors farmed for me 2009, 2010, 2010. And I was still farming bale and hay for our horses that we have here in Wakanda. We did have 50 horses at one time. Now we have cows and sheep and goats, and we still need a lot of hay. But nobody said anything to me 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, or 2013.
Wow.
Nobody said anything to me about the Beast of Bray Road. And here I find out, well, how I found out was, I cut hay in September 2013. And I was, you cut hay when the sun shines, and it takes a couple of days for it to dry, and then you have to bale it. Well, it was ready to be baled on a Sunday in September of 2013. So I called some of the guys I had here in Wakanda to help me, because you need 4 to 5 guys to bale the hay and get it up in the mow and stack it and everything.
Right.
And they go, "Oh, no, the Bears are playing the Packers." Well, I follow the Bears a little bit, but not too much. I'm a Bulls fan, but oh man, you guys can't help. No, we can't help. Okay. I had a couple of guys in Elkhorn that, had been helping me. So I called them. I said, "Hey, can you guys help me bale hay on Sunday? It's ready, and it could be raining Monday, Tuesday." And no, Bears are playing the Packers. We got parties. We can't help you.
Okay.
What am I going to do? And so I'm going to go up and bale the hay and just drop it. I'll get it into the small squares, bales, and the rain doesn't hurt it really much if it's packed in the bales, even though it's outside. So I'll drop it on the ground. Well, in that process, I was going up Bowers Road, where my farm is on Bowers Road, but I back up to Bray Road. I'm a quarter mile from Bray Road.
Okay.
And so I'm really in between Bowers Road and Bray Road. And it's been seen many times on Bowers Road also. Linda Godfrey, bless her soul, named it the Beast of Bray Road. And that is the name that's been known by. So I'm driving up there, and I going by my neighbors, and 2 of them were standing out there in their yard. So I pull in. I go, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're just hanging out. I said, "Well, aren't you going to watch the Bears Packer game?" "No, our wives watch that. We don't watch that."
They're watching football. Not the guys.
And I said, "Hey, you want to help me load 600 bales? We'll just get it on the wagons. I'll pull it in my barn, and rain, and I don't care. I'll have it in the barn." "Yeah, sure. We'll come over, Lee, and help you bale it." So they come and help bale it. We finish the 600 bales of hay around 4:00. We're standing at the west end of my shed, looking out at the 35 acres that I purchased in 2007. Now, remember, nobody had said anything to me about anything.
Right. So you're going into this kind of like unaware. You're just out there, baling hay, being a farmer, taking care of your business. I got you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And one gentleman looks at me and he goes, "Lee, the werewolf lives back on your property." I go, "What?
What? Yeah.
imagine my surprise.
Right.
Werewolf lives back on my property. I said, what are you talking about? He said, oh, my wife and mother-in-law, they saw it 2010 on Bowers Road. He starts naming the farmer. That's farmers that I knew. In fact, one farmer who was sharecropping with me, he was, because I didn't have my equipment up there until 2011. My mom passed away in 2010, bless her soul. So I moved my equipment up there and started farming there in 2011 on my own. Before that, I had a neighbor farmer doing it on shares. And he saw it on 1999 on Bray Road. He starts telling me about these other people all have seen the Beast of Bray Road thing. And I go, you're so full. Your eyes are brown. You're so full of it, you know? And
I don't think I've heard it put that way.
And I go, what are you're crazy. He said, no, this here and this here. And he's telling me, and people say the werewolf lives back on your property, and now it's known as the Beast of Bray Road. And I go, oh man, okay. So a couple of days later, I was on Bowers Road, and here was a raccoon, and he had told me about the one farmer, had seen it eating a raccoon on Bray Road. So I put a raccoon back in my property. I dropped it on the far west end of my property. That's a half a mile from Bowers Road and a quarter mile from Bray Road. And I dropped it back in my fence line, and the grass was 3 feet tall. And I just dropped the raccoon in there. I came back a couple of days later. That raccoon is cut down the middle, and all the innards are gone.
Okay, that's weird. That's more than weird. Who would, for example, if that's a like a farmer or somebody who just doesn't like you, they wouldn't just do that and leave it there. That's a strange occurrence.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I grew up on a farm in northern Illinois, and I had relatives in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. We'd gone up there a lot and fishing and everything. I was outdoors a lot. I'm looking at this and I go, the only thing that's possible, because all that 3 feet of grass that I had dropped it in was still standing straight up. And I go, had to be a hawk got in there, pecked it open, somehow got the innards out,
Right.
And, okay, that's the only possible explanation, So I go, okay, that's all right, that's really weird. Well, a couple of days later, I go back. Now the raccoon is not in this nest or hole, whatever you want to call it, down in the grass. It's 15 feet away in my hay field in a little piled up. And I go, that's a hawk cannot fly in there, pick up a 20-pound raccoon and carry it out and put it into a little pile in the hayfield. So I go, okay, these neighbors, okay. I go down to the guys that told me, and I go, what you guys been on my farm? You guys been back there messing with me? And they, no, Lee, you know we wouldn't go on your farm. And what are you talking about? And I said, well, this raccoon. They go, no, we would not go on your farm, and they wouldn't. Farmers don't go on other farmers unless
Right.
don't go.
Right. Mutual respect.
They didn't, yeah, and they didn't know I had the raccoon out there. And he said, I told you the werewolf lives back on your property. So the only possible way to get that raccoon out of there is two hands, pick it up, and place it 15 feet away.
Right. Something with an opposable thumb or something like that. Yes.
Absolutely. And I have so much proof of that. But I mean, if in 2013 you told me, I'm going to tell you, Tom, there's a 6.5 to 7 foot tall dog man walking around on my property in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. If you said, Lee, you're going to be saying that in 2025, you'd have my chainsaw, my dog, my pickup, maybe my wife. I would have been anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to be saying that in 2025. Skeptic, yes, in 2013. I mean, I just wasn't interested in it. I didn't see it as very scientific. I know there was a lot of eyewitnesses. Of course, you have the Patterson film, and
Right.
there were and things, but biologists hadn't done anything with it. And so it was just kind of a thing. Now and then you hear something about Bigfoot. And Tom, there's a 6.5 to 7 foot dog man walking around on my property and I've seen it 3 times.
Could you describe maybe the first time you saw it and what happened? Could you walk me into that a little bit?
Okay, I'd like to go through the tracks because
Sure. Okay.
we'll get to that during the tracks.
Okay. You want
So
to pull? You want to pull the track I have up? You want me to pull that up?
Yeah, that
Okay,
would
sure.
be good.
Okay. So this is a picture that Lee sent me. So for the people listening to this, you have to come over on YouTube and see this. But here's what Lee sent me. One of many.
Yeah. Okay. So when I knew it was not a hawk that was took it out of this nest or this hole in on my fence line of 3 feet grass tall, or the grass was 3 feet tall, I started looking at actually in the neighbor's field because my field was a hay field. And right away, I walked through the fence line. And I started seeing this track, which you see on the left-hand side.
Okay.
This track, probably thousands of times now in the last 12 years. And the interesting part about it, it's got 5 toes. You can see, I don't know if you can zoom in on it or anything, but
yeah, but you can see that it's. Let me see. How would you do that? That's a good. I honestly don't know how I would do that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, you can see the 5 toes around the outside,
1, 2,
and there's a center pad.
Uh-huh.
There's a pad in the center, and there's a heel pad. That's a 5-toed 7 pad, and you can see the nails canid track.
Right.
It does not exist in the natural world.
Right. For comparison, here is a coyote track that Lee sent me to give you a comparison of what he's talking about. This is a natural canid track, and it is only 4 toe pads and a heel pad. So that would be 5 altogether. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's 5 toe pads and a 7 pad track. And it's 3.5 inches by 3 inches. It's 3.5 inches long, 3 inches wide, much larger than a coyote track.
That's huge.
It is the size of a wolf track.
Okay.
So this track does not exist in the real world. It does not exist in the natural world. And I've seen this track hundreds of times. I sent you several pictures of it. So
yes.
In this process of trying to identify, okay, is there any possibility that this is something other than the dog man, the Beast of Bray Road? If you go back to that picture on the right,
okay, sure.
Please, we contacted my brother Fred contacted the Natural History Museum in Chicago and said, who do you use for a track expert? And they gave us the name of a gentleman in, I think, Montana, Utah, but out west. And so we contacted him, Fred contacted him, and we sent him the track on the left. And he sent back the track on the right. That's his rendition of what it is. And the explanation for what he says it is that there is a blue animal going, let's say, 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Not a double hit, but it's another animal that crossed it, and the orange one is going, let's say, at 2 o'clock.
Oh, so it stepped inside of the other one. That's what he's trying to say.
That's what he says, yeah. But
okay.
If you look at what he's done, first of all, let's look at the orange one, and he has a heel pad that's on a ridge on the original track. It's on a ridge.
Right. It would be in between the original one. There would actually be a little like an impression between the heel pad and the one on the right. You would see it easily, right? And it's not there.
It's not there. And then if you look at the blue animal, it's going at 12 o'clock. It's got 3 toes on the left-hand side. Then there's a big gap because he's got the orange toe over there. Big gap to the toe on the right-hand side.
Right.
It doesn't fit anything.
Right.
It's absolutely made up. And I sent that. I said, and he said, well, he explained what I just told you, and he said I was glad I was able to help you. Well,
You didn't.
No, you made up. You didn't know what to do with the track. You had
Right.
never track like this, and you made up some hypothesis of how this track could have been made. And I said to him, I said, I've tracked this a half mile, and the tracks on the left are what I see for the half mile, you know, and
Right.
they're 24 inches apart and they're straight line. And how, so if this guy, this orange guy, he runs and he steps on the track, then he's got to do a loop and then step on the next track 24 inches away. Then he's got to do a loop and step on the next track. I mean,
Right.
it's asinine.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, so have you spoken to any other dog bed experts to see if you've had any? Because I've seen footprints too, but they look different in this one. The ones I've seen are more like like three toes, elongated with claws, and they look completely different in this one. This is a very interesting track indeed. Very interesting.
I have 5 different tracks out.
Okay.
I mean, one's a fist track. I didn't send you those because we don't, that's a long show. But I have 5 different tracks that are not, coyote, deer. I mean, we have no bear in Walworth County, southern Wisconsin. There's no bear, and there's no wolves. The wolves are up in the upper. Everything is above the line. If you draw a line across from Milwaukee to Madison, above that line there's bear and wolves, but they're much further north. So this is the only thing I have there is deer and coyote, and that's not a deer or coyote. So, I mean, it's not. I mean, he says he's glad he's able to help me. He didn't help me. He made up a story.
Right. Right. So that now that we've seen this is so, do you think this is the actual footprint of the thing that you saw of the animal or the creature or however you would describe it, Lee? What you saw?
Okay, if you look at it, okay, do you have some more footprints?
I'd have to pull some up. Give me a second and see if I can find them. It's on my. I gotta go. I got one of the shadow pictures. Let's see. I got some ones in the snow, but they're all small. Hold on one second. That's that. Okay. I got
we need some more.
this.
We need some more.
Open. This is the gate. This is the.
That's 24-inch step.
I got this. They got this one.
Yeah, you can.
This is a 24-inch step.
Yeah, people say, well, you only have one track. No, I have track lines, and this here you can see the front track, and then the back track is, and this one's about 22 inches. He walks about anywhere from 24 to 48-inch steps.
48. That's
Yeah.
4 feet, guys. That's 4 feet.
Yeah.
That's insane. For the meter people out there, that's a meter 30. A meter 30. I lived in Europe for 20 years, so it's about a meter 30 to give you a reference of how far that is apart. Like if I'm 6'3", 6'4". If I step, for me to do a meter step, that's a kind of a stretch, but to do a meter 30 or a 4 foot, I got to kind of hop a little bit. So that's quite a tall animal, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, and I think you have the picture of the 4 foot if you go through this now.
Let's see. I am going to remove that one. Like I said, my internet's a little slow and wonky, so I have to kind of do this as I go. And I got to actually find them. Hopefully, I do a good job, Mr. Hampel.
Okay.
Let's take a look. See, I have a couple of these. All right. What's this one here? It's kind of hard to see them in their little format here. Here's another one.
5-toed. That's a very good 5-toed 7-pad track. You can see the 5 toes very, very clear going around, and the heel print isn't quite as big, but
maybe it was kind of up on its toes a little bit when it's going through this part. Yeah.
Toes sometimes, yes. But you can see the 5 toes around the outside. You see the center pad very clear there, and the heel pad is smaller. He does walk on his toes sometimes, yes.
Okay, there's that one. I'm going to do my best here.
The track expert in Montana, he never answered. I said, "Here's another one." Nope.
He never responded back to you.
No.
Do,
You know what
do you
to do.
think it's just
And
that's a weird thing about academia is like they kind of like want to protect themselves, right?
he's a track
Let's see what we
expert,
got here. I
best
don't know if
track
this is it
expert
or
in the world,
not. I don't
according
think
to the Field Museum in Chicago. No, we're too far. That's way
that's
down
my.
the list. That's a cool story.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I don't know exactly where all these are. I downloaded them. Like I said, I didn't have internet for what 2.5 days, babe. No tenemos internet para
Try a couple
dos
more.
días y media. Yeah, like 3 days I didn't have them. So I just got it, and I was going to go to a friend's house so I can do this interview, and I grabbed what I could with the time that I had. No, I don't have problems. I'm just trying to find a particular picture that Mr. Hampel is looking for. There you go. How's that one?
That's another track, 5-toed 7 pad. You can see the 5 toes around the outside, center pad, heel pad.
Okay, what is exactly you looking for the stride in the snow?
We could look at that, sure. Whatever you can get up of any of these tracks, I got stories.
I got it's kind of hard to see in their little form image file. Yes, image file.
But
I
you
got
have
them all in my downloaded area here. Let's see. I got to find where the snow is. You sent me a ton. You sent me a lot, and I just grabbed the ones that I thought would be pertinent for the situation that we were in, and I can't see them all. That's the one that's the shadow. Yeah, for some reason I don't think I have them. I don't have them right now. I don't have them up. Maybe that's
okay.
I don't have those.
Let's see this one here. I can't see that one. I don't know what that one is. It's black.
If you can present, then I can show them from your side too. If you know which one it is that you want to show me, then if you can pop it up there, then I can present it here.
Well, can I just go and get it?
Sure, absolutely.
So I can just go to my pictures and pick it up, and how do I get it here?
Just go to present at below the screen where you are. You'll see present.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't see present.
Oh, are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Oh, that might be the problem then. Maybe that's the problem because I've never worked from that end before. Like, you sent me somewhere's around 30 pictures, 35 pictures, and I didn't get them all. I just grabbed the ones that were interesting to me, and I can't find the one that I really enjoyed that I don't have for whatever reason is the one where you can see it walking in the snow and then doing like a 90-degree turn. That is wild. It is bugging me that I can't find it right now.
That's a great catch.
Because the weird thing about it is that you don't see, like, if it were to be. Maybe that's it. Let's take a look.
That one there. Look at there. There's
there's one. Here's an interesting one.
Yep. That's one single track went all the way across my field. I thought it was a single track, and then it divided. Look how it divided.
Yeah.
And look at the track.
It's.
You have another picture. Look at the tracks behind it. They're single file. And then it goes into 2 tracks. It walked all the way across my field, 1/8 of a mile as a single track. And then it says, well, okay, there's 2 of us. Or it metamorphosed into 2. I don't know. But look how clean it broke apart there.
It's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like geometric. It's almost geometric in shape. It's almost like at a perfect geometric angle in which it comes out. It would be where one would be stepping on top of the other track, and then it would be 2 separate animals. It really makes no sense.
And they went on their merry way. One went west and one went south.
South.
Okay. One went west and one went south when I tracked the 2 individual tracks, and one turned and went west and the other one turned and went south. So that's proof right there. There's more than one there. I mean, I've seen three tracks all together like that. 3 of them.
Where they split out into 3.
Yep.
And you see this all the time on your property.
The 3 I saw in February this year. Yeah, all the time. The 3 I was out snowmobile, and I go, wait, but this looks like a kind of a file track, and I start following. But it was a little more disturbed than that one was. Where it was a single track, you could tell that it had been there had been two or three. I thought there was two animals or creatures, and there was three. And then they went up about 500 feet, and then the three of them split off. But they were walking right in the track, right all the way across my field again.
Yeah, I don't have any more of those. I could have swore that I downloaded more of them, but they're not there. I'd have to go over into Facebook and pull them out again on the messenger, but I don't have them for the moment. So that's what I have for the moment when it comes to tracks. I do have some other pictures and things like that, but where would you like to take the story?
All right. All right, and you have the right angle, and you have the 4-foot tracks too. They're in snow. Okay, you've seen those. All right,
yes.
Let's go to May 5th, 2017.
Okay.
All right, and I was 10:30 at night. I was pulling out of my yard, out of my driveway, and I was going into the town of Lake Geneva to Walmart, and I turned out of my driveway and to go south on Bowers Road.
Okay.
Instantly, I'm turning out. Here are two luminous orangish red eyes, 2 telephone posts ahead, so about 250 feet it is, and next to the road, and they were 3 feet off the ground.
Okay.
I knew instantly this is not deer or coyote, because I've seen deer and coyote many times, and they're green. They're usually yellow to maybe a slight tinge of green.
Right. I've seen that myself. Actually, that is absolutely true. When you shine the headlights on it, they give that reflective luminescence that you get is like a greenish yellow. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Well, these were orangish red.
Okay, that's a bit disheartening.
Pardon?
There's a bit disheartening.
Well, disheartening. I knew right away. I'm looking at the beast. The Beast of Bray Road. The dog man. I knew right away. So I threw my brights on, accelerated. Now, he then went down the embankment. The embankment is 4.5 feet deep. I measured that. And on May 5th, the grass was a foot tall on top. And so that's, we're at 5.5 feet right there. And he's looking over the top at me above the grass with, again, these very radiant, luminous, orangish red eyes. And I go, wow, yeah, I knew that embankment was 4 or 5 feet tall, and he's looking over the top at me. I measured it the next day, but so I still throwing my brights on. I'm trying to get a little better angle. I couldn't see any body. I never saw any body in that situation. And then instant. I mean, I can't explain. A blink of an eye is too slow. That's 25 hundredths of a second. That was too slow. He was 15. I say I guess it was 15 to 20 feet out in the field. I mean, did it jump? Did it fly? I don't know, but it was next.
Wow.
It was next to the road, and blink of an eye, it's 15, 20 feet, and it turned, and I see one luminous red eye. And then instantaneously, it's another 15, 20 feet, and it turns again, and I see one luminous red eye. Now, I didn't have any type of device instrument to test that, but that red eye out in the field was just as bright as it was up by the road.
That makes no sense either.
It makes absolutely no sense.
No.
How can, we have some fish that create light. Of course, we have the fireflies that create light through chemicals. But how can this dog man have a light source or an energy source that can create an orangish red color in its eyes? It was not reflecting. It wasn't.
I've heard this before. Like, people will say, like, there's a reflective one, and then there's the one where it's actually emanating from this thing itself. People have seen it in the forest. A lot of times they only see one eye, like it's looking out from behind a tree, and then they'll see the second eye. If you listen to Martin Grove's story, I know you probably know his story by now. Martin Grove's. It's insane. It's an insane story. But he actually thought there was someone smoking a cigarette in the woods. He's a former a police officer in Tennessee. And he said, okay, what are you doing over here in our campsite? And then it just jumped out on him and just roared. And yeah, it's these things are just they kind of defy what we know as normal, like physics or normal measuring, or the normal ways in which we would measure empirical type evidence. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make no. It's not. It's supernatural or paranormal, whatever you want to call it. It's
Right.
not a real concept. I mean, I've been tracking this guy in snow, and just a little bit of sidelight, and the tracks will stop, just stop. Or I have pictures of all that stuff. Or I've been walking in, snowmobile, and the tracks will just start in the middle of my field. So he has this ability to move either interdimensionally or portals, or I have.
Weren't you, Lee? Weren't you telling me on the phone something about you were going out and measuring the electrostatic in the air and the weird readings that you were getting?
Oh, the EMF, that's a whole nother story. Yeah. Okay, we got to get this one, so we'll finish up.
Okay, sure. This is your story, man. I'm just here to help you get it out, buddy. I promise.
All right. So I know right away. Okay, I go down the road. What I think I did, I go down the road about a mile, turn around in a farmer's driveway, come back, shine my lights out in the field, just try and see it, because I never saw any body. All I saw was two red eyes, one red eye, orangish red eye, and I never saw any body. I thought I should see body. I did call a hypnotist and try and see if there'd be a possibility that, I could be hypnotized and bring it back. And he was not very positive about that. So I didn't do that. But so I looked down the field. There's nothing there. I said, okay, I got to tell somebody. This is an eyewitness report. The quicker you do an eyewitness report, the more accurate it is. And so,
right.
And eyewitness is, of course, not accepted in the scientific field. Legal field, court of law,
It depends.
But
It depends.
You have to have 4, 5, 6 witnesses that say, I saw that guy, robbing the store. So there have to be collaboration. But anyway, I wanted to, tell somebody right away. And so it was like, at 10:30 when I knew it was 10:30 when I was pulling on my driveway. So my brother Fred's been very helpful. He helped me, get he got the gentleman from the Field Museum, History Museum for the track. But I said, I got to call somebody, and I know it's kind of late. So I pull in my yard. I go down, turn around, like I said, shine out in the field, pull in my yard, pull on the end of my shed, my barn, and I call my brother Fred, because I want to tell somebody right away the story, And so I call him, and of course, I'm very calm and collected. He was that red, he's got red eyes. So I told him the story, which I just told you, and we talked about it for a while and things of that type. So then I went to bed. That particular night, I got really ill.
Wow.
I got really.
Okay.
No,
that's interesting.
No, okay.
no, it's not okay, but like okay as in like that's like when someone says, I just went and did this horrible thing, and you're like, okay, it's kind of like that. Okay, when I mean, I know, we're joking around here, but I understand what you mean. So people like to say infrasound. I don't know what that is. Some people, I prefer the word zapped. You know what I mean? To give it, because it's kind of hard to quantify what that is. So what were you feeling?
Well, zapped wouldn't be scientific. Infrasound, lions use infrasound. And
well, it's kind of hard to put a scientific spin on the paranormal. Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
No scientific explanation for what occurred. I went in my room. I have a room in my barn that's a bedroom, and I was going to stay there that particular night, May 5th, 2017. I go in my room, and I started throwing up. I run out to the bathroom, and I got really ill. I was really ill, So, and my brother Fred called me the next morning after I talked to him. Called me the next morning, and and I didn't answer. I heard the phone kind of ringing, maybe, but I was really kind of out of it. I was sick, and so he called my wife and my son, who live here in Wakanda, Illinois, and said, Lee saw the beast last night, and he's not answered his phone. Well, they
Wow.
worry, they worry because there's lights up
Mhm.
there, there's orbs up there, there's UFOs up there, and people 411, they do go missing. So my son, my youngest son, said, "Well, I'll go up there. I'll go see him. I'll go check on him." So like around 9 o'clock in the morning, he came flying in, and he comes in. You okay? You okay? And I go, I'm not okay. I've been really sick, but I said, "You're here. We got to go down and look for tracks.
Wow. Dedication. I'm
We
digging
got
it.
tracks." I said, yes, and it felt like a really bad case of food poisoning. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
Okay, that was the only way I could describe it. So I know he's my son, and but I wanted another person to verify that we would go down to the exact spot where I saw it and look for tracks. And we went down the exact spot where it was. I knew right by the telephone pole. And here are these 5-toed, 7-pad tracks right on the edge of that field.
Okay.
The only tracks there.
So
Now,
that's how you're putting two and two together then. I got you. All right.
it was the only tracks there. And I sent you the best one. It's not a real good track, but you can see the 5 toes, and of course, it's hard to get a good picture of a good track, but you got the
Yes.
5 toes and the 7 pads, and there was a couple of them right at the edge of the field. And again, 15, 20 feet out, there was a lot of debris in the field. We couldn't find any more tracks. So whether it jumped or flew, I mean, I've seen it took 9 to 12-foot jumps in snow too, but we couldn't find any other tracks out there. So the creature I saw made those 5-toed, 7-pad tracks, which are non-existent in the world, except I saw the creature, and then I saw the tracks the next morning.
So you've seen a creature that made them, and then see the tracks that they left behind, which corresponds with the tracks that you're taking pictures of on your property. That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. What do you do with something like that, Lee? Like, who else is there anybody in the field that you would know that can, like, maybe that you can contact that I'll reach out to through my channels and see if there's anybody out there who knows anything about it, because the ones I'm seeing look different than that. They look more, I don't know, like more alien and spooky. Like those look more like an old canid or something, or some type of other biological being that kind of resembles that. That looks completely different than ones I've been seeing.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Linda had one track in the years. It's in like 15 years, and it was a 3-toed track. And I've heard of
That's
other,
the ones I've seen. Yeah.
but you can drive up from Mexico City, come to Elkhorn, Wisconsin tomorrow, and I'll show you tracks.
Okay.
90% of the time I look for tracks, a 5-toed, 7-pad track, I will find them in my field or the neighbor's field.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
rest of that story?
Yeah, we can go wherever you want to lead. Dude. I'm just following along, man. I don't know. You kind of like want to you have a way that you want to present the information. I'm
Well,
sorry I don't have the visual things with me. I will be better prepared next time. Give me a little bit of leeway because of the leeway. There you go. There's a nice little pun. And and at the same time, like I said, I was having a bit of internet issues, and I will definitely fix those the next time I have you on for sure. And I'll have them all up. I promise.
yeah, I mean, well, tracks are facts, and tracks are scientifically valid,
Okay.
and that's the crucial part about tracks is they're facts. And if I had bear tracks, you people say I have a bear there. I have cougar tracks, which don't show the toes. The only feline that shows toes is the cheetah. Their toes are always out because of the speed they're running, and
Right.
and tracks are facts, and so that's a very important part of my research his tracks. So, but the rest of the story, it gets creepier yet.
Okay.
Oh man. So on that was May 5th, 2017. January 1st, 2018, my niece, she has Fred's daughter. She has always a brunch on New Year's Day. So that particular New Year's Day, it'd be January 1st, 2018. We were there at the brunch, and I was talking with my brother and my sister-in-law, Sharon. And of course, it just had happened, 6 months before that I had seen the Beast of Bray Road. And I'm saying, yeah, I said, well, I'm sorry I called you so late. It was probably like almost 11, because 10:30 I went on my driveway, went down, turned around, came back, pulled through my barn, pulled to the other end because I get a little better reception down there, and, called them. That's what I did, maybe. Because Sharon looks at me and she goes, 11? No, it was after midnight. And Fred said, it was like 12:20. And I go,
that's an hour.
Hey, there's no way it was 12:20. Yeah, it was. Where was I for an hour?
Yeah.
So I call Mobile One. Or, we got Mobile One. Yeah, I called them and I said, I need my phone records from May.
May 15th. Yeah.
May 5th. And they go,
Pardon.
oh, we don't have them. I said, I saw on Law and Order. They went back 2 years.
Now give me my damn phone records and stop playing with me.
I saw it. He starts laughing. He goes, no, we keep them 30 days. So,
okay.
So, but I have verified proof that I lost an hour to an hour and a half of time. Tom, you think that as a science person and mathematics teacher and high school and chemistry and computer science I taught for 10 years, and all of a sudden I don't know what reality is? My reality is not the reality that I have proof didn't happen.
Yeah, that must be very troublesome to a person like you who does that. This is your thing. This is what you enjoy. This is your career. And then something like that happens and you have it completely throws everything that you know about the world that you have been studying or teaching for the last 30 years or however long it was, and flips it on its head. That must be very troublesome.
I wouldn't say, disconcerting for a while, but I've had so many things now happen out there. I've lost time 3 times, been verified that I have what I thought happened and what did happen. Some of them on video, and I said I was not at that location, and there was a camera crew from Denver, and I was at that location, and I swear I was never there.
Yeah, I've heard this before, though. Yeah.
Times I have verified proof that I've lost from an hour to an hour and a half of time that I have no idea where I was at during that time.
That's scary, man.
Oh,
that is so scary.
It's really scary. You think what you what you did, and you didn't do that. You were someplace else for a while. I mean, where?
I was wondering why you were being so adamant about what you did, what time it was, who you called when you did what you did, and you did that to set up this situation. All right, I was like, where's he going with this? Okay, all right, man, I'm with you.
I didn't do it on purpose. That's just how I would be. I would.
Right, sure, absolutely.
I would mark those times and keep that. I have a log of all this. I have a log of everything. So, but it's not only did I get sick, and then I was someplace else for an hour and a half, or an hour to an hour and a half.
Maybe just sat there in a driveway and just kind of just zip by you. Because I've actually I had a guy on who had a video about lost time, but they lost the video where he said he had a beer. They just opened a beer. They sat the beer down. They had it on video camera. He had like a security video camera in his house, and they set the beer down. He remembers the movie starting, and then the next thing you know, he sees the credits roll, And he goes, "What's going on?" They didn't even drink their beer. All the sweat and the water was on the actual table. But at the same time, there's a video. He goes, "Oh, I got that on video." And it's just them just sitting mindlessly looking at the movie and nothing happened. And they don't remember even watching it. It happens.
Yeah.
What it is, I don't know. But, you know, nobody really knows at this point who knows anything about this. But we're trying. We're spinning our wheels. This is what we're doing. We're trying to like present evidence. I think these tracks are incredible. They're incredible. They're very well defined and very well seen. And I think it's a good start into what we're going to be. Hopefully, if you'd like to come back on, we've got about 10 minutes left to present, because people like to take these in hour chunks. I didn't make the rules, Lee. It just seems to be the way they like them. And and there's so much more, guys. There's so much more. There's so many things that he hasn't even talked to me about yet. But he's giving me like little cookies, you know what I mean? Little things that makes me question more and all that. And it's you had no idea when buying this property that the Beast of Bray Road was even a thing. And now you're experiencing, and it's become you're retired now, right? Isn't that, Lee? You're retired from as a teacher.
I retired in 2000, right?
Oh, okay. And then now this has kind of become, you know, a big part of your life, and it's just puzzling, and you enjoy the puzzle.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's science moves slow. I mean, I wouldn't say it's troublesome at all. It's just a study now that I've pursued. It was presented to me, and what do? Dismiss it or pursue it as a scientific study as best that I can. I mean, Einstein told us that there were black holes in the 20s and 30s. Mathematically, it proved there were black holes, and we never found a black hole until the 60s. We had no mechanism to find black holes, even though mathematically it said there were black holes. So 50 years from now, you know, maybe somebody will look back and say, you know, Lee Hampel was doing research back in, you know, 2025, and we knew then, we know right now that mathematics says there's multi-universes.
Right.
There's multi-universes. Now, we have no way of identifying anything other than our three-dimensional universe that we live in right now on this planet, you know, or the planet, the universe we live in. And we have no way of identifying any other situation. But 50 years from now, we may find a way to move from one universe to another universe. Are they parallel? Are they intertwined? That we don't know. But mathematics says there's multi-universes. So maybe 50 years from now, somebody will say, you know, Lee Hampel was doing research back then, and maybe it'll help. That's my goal.
Are you maybe going to be putting together some type of scientific paper for scrutiny in the scientific community, or will that just never even take flight because of the way it's set up in like the academic area of in academia?
I tried to talk with the University of Wisconsin Madison, quantum physics. I tried to talk with one from the University of Illinois, and it's just way too early.
Okay.
Not put together a paper right now. I will just I call it observational physics, and I will continue to collect data, keep my log, I have over, like say, 100,000 pictures on my computer. I probably have 200 SD cards with the information on there. I've kept all those, and I have albums that I've kept. So, and other items that I have kept over, for data, and that's just I'm in a study mode, just like I would be on any other situation.
Okay, so you're saying you're still in the early stages of collecting data before you're able to maybe put some type of you can't really put together any type of hypothesis just yet, because you're just still in the beginning of collecting this odd data that doesn't fit what normally like any type of biologist would, or electro. You would know the words, anybody who studies the electromagnetic fields and things like that. It seems to be something as coalescing on your property, and you're just out there collecting data at the moment.
That's correct. That's really what I'm doing. And people say, well, what do you think it is? Well, you know, I can tell you what it's not. It's not a deer or coyote or a bear or cougar. You know, I
Right.
can tell you what its actions are. I can tell you what it does. It plays games with me. It threw a stick in my truck. It threw a rock at my truck. I mean, it chased me down Bray Road with a big light. A big light chased me down Bray Road. I mean,
Whoa.
oh yeah. There's lots of stories, hundreds of stories. I mean,
Yeah.
But to identify what it is, I know it can move from this universe, our 3-dimensional universe, to another universe, because it'll be walking across my field and the tracks will just stop.
Yeah.
That can't happen unless it has moved to another, through a portal, whatever you want to call them, but it has moved to another.
Or taken flight somehow if it had wings or something like that, but that's not what you're seeing out there. That's not what you're seeing. You know what I mean?
And I have pictures of portals too. I have pictures.
Oh, really?
Lots of them.
Oh, yeah, but you're not going to show me those. That's fine. We'll get to that one day. Maybe one day.
You, I don't know.
I love uncomfortable silences. You have no idea how much I just enjoyed that.
we got to see if somebody will do a 10-episode show on our rivals. I'll do better than Skinwalker Ranch. So, but
yeah. Well, I'm if you're willing, I'll definitely have you on again, man. Because I think we're not even close to even scratching the surface on it. Just okay. You bought this property, and these things started happening. You're seeing footprints, and you've seen it for the first time. Okay, I'll get the date right. May 15th, 2017.
May 5th, 2017.
May 5th. I want to say 15th for some reason, but I'll get there.
And I saw it May 11th, 2021, and I saw it on May 20th, 2023.
So that's interesting that you're seeing it in May.
I saw
just
it.
That alone.
I mean, other people have seen it all year round. My neighbors have seen it in the last, they've seen it. I can go down the road. Every neighbor has seen it from 1980s till now. They've all seen it, but they won't talk about it. Like I told you, they won't talk about it. I mean, I was there. I had my farm 2007 to 2013, and nobody said boo. A werewolf living on my property until my one neighbor did. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. This is just a start. This is just a start, just to get people because I kind of want to get as much as I can out if you're willing. If not, that's also fine. We'll do our best. And I appreciate it so much that you came on and spend your time with me today to get to the beginning, to give people a foothold of some of the strange occurrences that you are experiencing out on your property.
No, it's been very enjoyable talking with you.
Thank you very much. I try to keep it lighthearted, because some of this can be scary, especially if you're experiencing time loss, and if you're experiencing some type of sickness. That's nothing to be nothing to take lightly. It's a scary proposition, and it's hard. You know what I mean? Because there's such a stigma to these kind of things. It's getting a little easier, because of the internet and a lot of this coming out. But imagine people in the 80s who see this thing, and then who are they going to tell? Who are they going to tell unless someone thinks they're crazy? It's impossible.
And that's why my neighbors wouldn't talk about it. I talked to some of them since then, and they said, people, I made fun of people, and then I saw it run through my yard. I didn't want to see that thing run through my yard, but I made fun of everybody. Sure. And I hopefully through my efforts that it will be, and I think through many efforts now, that it is you're able to talk about it and not be made fun of, or
Yeah, and I just want that's what I want to do with everybody. You know what I mean? I give everyone the ability to come on here and say what it is that they've seen, and that's important to me. Or say what it is that they feel, or say what it is that they think is going on. Some people are biblical about it, and that's fine with me. Because no one really knows. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. Some people go through the lens of their faith, and some people go through the lens, like yourself, sir, of more of a scientific rigor. And I think both are valid, and I think both have something to maybe offer the world. And in any case, if you're going out there and you're seeing these things, guys, be safe. And you too, Lee, be safe. I know you've been out there for quite a few years, but still at the same time, who knows what this thing can do if it can make you feel sick from, 2 telephone poles away and then 25 feet and however far it was in the field, and now you're feeling sick. That's weird. And then now, you're missing an hour and a half time. You got to be safe, my friend.
Thank you. I will. Thank you.
I will, buddy. So thank you very much. So remember, guys, we are the eye. We are aware. Love you all and have a wonderful day.